inside here and punch a hole through it. It'll leave a mark. When you pull it back, there'll be a little imprint. Come on, camera. Yeah. See it? See a little hole mark right there? Take a razor blade. Use one of these little safety things. And cut a little tiny, just a vertical little slit right there. Just barely poke it in there. And you want to put a drop of oil, maybe not even a whole drop. You want to oil, I just oil the threads on this screw and push it in that little slot like that. And that oil keeps it from tearing that hole out and making it ragged. You want to use as little number of passes pulling that in and out of there as possible. You just don't want to tear up that little slot. You want that thing to sew itself back together every time, nice and tight. Now I have a screw that I use that's got some wax on it. This is my starter screw. This is all I use it for, is just starting those threads. I'm using it like a tap. I'm actually cutting some threads in there, and then after I get it heated up, I put wax. I put it in paraffin wax, and it puts a little tiny bit of wax into that hole. And when you heat it up, it melts that wax all into that screw thread. Now try not to leave wax residue on the pad, because I'm going to put finish on that, on the back of that wood there. And then I made a bit. I ground the shank of this bit down where this part here is thin, and I left the head alone, but it makes less strain on these cuts with a thin shank. Very little to cut off of that pad because it's the right size pad. Now before I tighten those up, I'll let this thing float and center itself. Where I want it to get it where it's naturally centered. If you don't, after that thing takes some shock and abuse, it'll find its own center and it won't be lined up with how you ground it. You want it to be centered up nice and firm and comfortable before you start grinding on it. Now I'm going to check for leaks. The way I do that is put a light on this side of it and look on the other side of it. See if there's any light. I don't want any light coming through. If there's any gaps here, the light will find its way through there. I just got rid of most of it just because I don't like sanding that much of it off. It just wears out your disc. This is a homemade pad grinding attachment that I made for this disc. I've got a nice soft piece of cloth here that I keep so I don't scar the pad. I leave the tape on there so when I grind through, if I'm going to touch the tape, I know I'm done. And high speed with a coarse disc is better than slow speed with a fine disc. And this is a fence that I built that also covered with tape to soften it up, and it's in line with that. This black dust that's all over that, mineral spirits. Like so. This is Permalin Sealer, which I really like. It's the best stock finish I've ever seen. A friend of mine that owns a gun shop in Georgia turned me onto this stuff and requested it for his guns, and it is really good finish. Kind of pricey, but it dries quickly also. But this will need a few minutes, otherwise I'll glue that pad on there, and I don't want to do that. So, I'll let that set a bit. Go get a bite of breakfast. That seating process I was talking about gets a little touchy from time to time. You've got to get that thing right back where it was. And there you go. Well, thanks for choosing to spend your time here with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this program. I'll try to post a new segment each weekend. In addition, if you'd like to read about a stock that I made, and then it took a 20-foot free fall, click on the link at the bottom of this page. It's called The Broken Gun. It's a story I wrote a few years ago about my two boys. Sometimes life's hard and things get broken. Now and then we get a chance to fix them. I'm so grateful for the opportunity I had to repair this broken stock. It led to a restoration that I never could have imagined. As always, if you like this video, please click the like button and share this with your friends. Have a great day.